Good morning, Ember. You're up late. You're usually back in bed by now. The kettle's boiling over, so I forgot about that. You need to just chillax on your favourite little rug for a minute, alright? Your favourite blanket. I gotta get the tea. I'll be right back. Make the fucking whistle loud enough. Ember, you wrapped onto my necklace. That's my necklace. Get your tail off it, thank you. So I've got Ember here with me today, and no, I don't always do this, but he doesn't necessarily have to deal with what we're doing today, but I want to desensitize him to stuff, and the easiest way to desensitize him is to, do in such a way that I'm not as wary of my movements. He's really flinchy, and if you move too fast, he's still kind of like, oh, what's that? And when I'm just holding him and not being distracted with anything, I realize that I'm actually pretty focused on him, to the point where I'm not desensitizing him at all. I'm being too slow and too gentle, and he's not learning anything. So I figure, why not? This is the perfect opportunity to, watch him instead of my boring, ugly face. I mean, that's a lot more interesting anyway. So you have him to watch as I talk about this, and it gives him the desensitization that he needs. He needs to be able to, realize that any kind of quick movement or whatever is not anything to fear. So he's still young. He's still quite young. He's a yearling, and right now we're a bit discombobulated. What are you doing? What are you doing? Really, where do you want to go? You want to go on top of my head? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to be up there? What do you want to do? Where the fuck are you going? Okay, I don't know what he wants to do, honestly. I don't know what your problem is, Ember. Eventually he's gonna need to be, somebody who, is a natural personality that is naturally afraid of everything. He's gonna need to be kind of the opposite of that. I mean, it's okay if he's always timid, but he needs to eventually get to the point where I can do anything at any pace and it doesn't faze him. So anyway, I need to be able to go everywhere with him, because even when I shift, I don't have anybody that I would trust with him. Now, the chickens is a different story, but I can trust other people with them. But I don't think people fully understand around here anyway, So, maybe I could find somebody that might be trustworthy, but if I can't, then he's gonna have to come with me. When it's time, if I ever do fully shift, he's gonna have to actually come with me. And that means that he's gonna have to be on my shoulders, and I'm gonna be running, and he's gonna have to be hanging on. There's going to be times where, and I'm going to have to trust him to stay with me for warmth. I'll probably have to hunt for him, because he has, especially in winter time, I'm sure, because then he won't be able to leave my body warmth in winter. But I'm guessing most of the time I'll have to hunt for him, because he's got a bit of a debilitating issue with he was born with it. He's got a neurological, it's mild, but it's a neurological neck disorder, where he has muscle spasms, and it makes his neck a little weak. Now, usually those spasms only happen when he tilts his head and neck a certain way. And unfortunately, it's usually really sharp movements that he does with his head and neck where it starts to spasm. And those sharp movements, a lot of times, is what he needs to strike live prey. So yeah, I'll probably have to hunt for you, buddy. But anyway, aside from that, this video really isn't that much to do with Ember. It's more just kind of, he's here to entertain you and to be a wonderful poster child to just how much snakes are, you know, a lot of people are afraid of them, and they don't have to be, because really they're quite docile creatures. The only time that they're aggressive is if they think that they're under a threat, you know. So anyway, hopefully if you're one of those people that have a fear of snakes, you can help get over your fear as we do this. So anyway, I talked about in the last part that there was, I felt a shift. You know, I'd already been seeing a few little tiny signs that things are changing, but when you start to feel that, for lack of a better term, atmospheric type shift, where it's kind of like it's in the air, it's global, like the entire energy of everything that surrounds you starts to feel different, then you really know that the plan is starting to be put into place. So what I did with the warding, I'm feeling that shift. It feels less tense in the air, it feels just a hair safer. Definitely there's a lot of threats still around, but I can sense that all of those threats are actually starting to weaken. And do I expect that I'm going to be able to eliminate every single threat that's out there? No. But hopefully just enough that I can do what I need to do. Anytime I get that feeling, that atmospheric feeling, I finally realize, okay, everything is set in stone, everything is working as the way that I intended it to. It's not just an isolated event here and there, it's a global thing. You know, eventually this will get me to a point where, you know, I can leave the house, and maybe not every single day, but I can at least find one day that may be safer than the others, that I can leave the house and maybe, you know, not have to worry as much when I come back home, and just overall in general not have to worry as much, you know. To be honest, I forget what safety feels like. I do. I forget what safety feels like, and I don't know what it is anymore, really. So when I start to feel that feeling, like it feels like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders, it feels like you've been smothered, you know, for many hours on end, and it's that first breath of air that there's nothing on top of you smothering you. That's kind of how it feels, and it's just that one little breath, and then it's back to being smothered again, or it's maybe not fully smothered, but smothered enough, you know. He's caught in my hair, you see that? You need to stop getting caught in my hair. He actually doesn't know what to do with himself because he's stuck. Get your tail, unwrap your tail. Okay. Your tail is stuck in my hair. Look at that. That's why you can't go anywhere, because you stuck your tail straight through my hair and made a knot. I know you love to make knots, but my hair's not the best place. Okay. So, anyway, I've got to the point where I realize that, okay, this is it. This is, if the time to do anything, it's now. Because I can start to feel everything, that opportunity opening up. And I've got a lot of work to do, a ton of work to do, to be able to use that opportunity to its advantage. And I'm afraid that I'm not going to be able to do it. I really am. I'm afraid that, you know, it's going to pass me by, and that'll be the only opportunity I have left. You know, I'm told that in the future, if I wait too long, this is kind of, I guess, probably fate. It's fate. If I wait too long, that window of opportunity will fade. And when it fades, I might not get another one. So, you know, this is all I've got, and if I fuck this up, this is the last chance. If I fuck this up, I might spend the rest of my life, you know, held hostage somewhere in one of those underground facilities where they put you in basically prison cells, you know. It's an illegal operation, but basically that's what it is. Torture you, maybe experiment on you. I don't know. I don't really. Those places are almost impossible to escape, especially because even if you could escape somewhere, they drug you up. Anyone like me usually has had dreams about those places, at least dreams about those places. Anybody like me? I've had I think 2 or 3 people who have come to me and said I've had these dreams. I say yes, I've had them too. If I wait too long, eventually, you know, I'm told that somebody's going to take me to a place like that. I need to be gone before anybody like that can find me. It's hard to put him back and talk at the same time because I have too many, my hands are full, so I actually can't videotape that part. But yeah, he's going to bed now, which means it's time for me to get a bite to eat. So he's head there, tail there. Look at that, isn't that is comical? Look at that. There's his head. His tail. He's not fully in his house yet. I assure you though, he can fit. Before we do that though, I need to let out the chickens, and I need to tell you really quick about, you know, what I was talking about before. Chickens for food, and it's calcium supplement in there because they're regrowing their feathers, they're molting for winter. Keep me locked away as a child, and I find that I actually got stronger, you know, and that's part of wolf energy, that's part of the wolf totem, really. You survive when you shouldn't. It takes more to knock you down, and you know, they think it's better if they can control literally everything, and that's why I'm in a house by myself, because of that. It only takes one person in the group, especially someone of high authority in the cult, to say that they think I'd be more in control in a facility, for that to happen, to override what my family thinks is the best way to control me. They're cowards, and they realise confrontation means that I fight back, and they find it easier to not, you know, to just do things behind my back and not have me know what's going on. If they took me to one of those places, they know that I would know, and right now they don't really know exactly how much I know, and they think that if I'm oblivious, that I won't fight back. So of course any way I fight back has to be in a way that they don't know either, whether by death or succession by someone, simply succession by somebody else, or whether by retirement. I don't know. Eventually someone's going to take their place, and they can't be at the tippy top of the pedestal in a cult. They can't. They just can't. Someone's above them anyway. I've been told it's fate. That will happen. It's going to come either way, so we've got 2 options. I fail, I stay human, I either get caught or succumb to the elements, but escape, or I shapeshift into an animal and actually survive long enough. As an animal, I at least have a chance to live long enough to do what I'm meant to do in this life. As human, I have no fucking chance.